Are the right risks insured? And the answer to that came from our group was yes and no. In the developed world, yes. And a statistic was put out which was really quite interesting, that 90% of the insurable losses occur in Japan, the United States, and Europe. But 97% of the loss of life occurs elsewhere. So that tells us that there is a serious insurance deficit, especially in the developing world. Turning for a moment, though, to this issue of farmer and insurance and food, this is very significant because it enables farmers to have insured loans. And it was pointed out that the costs of $1 would represent a saving of $4. In other words, this sort of corroborates the Nick Stern's conclusions that prevention is worth a pound a cure. I mean, this is really a very, very cost-beneficial way of improving farmers and improving the lot of farmers and the income of farmers. Subsidies, you say right away. I say, well, who's going to pay the premium? And it was said in our meeting that if farmers are making between $2 and $4 a day, they can afford this insurance, because it's very important that this be placed on a sustainable basis. This is not something that, for example, donors should be invited into to do over the long term. So the question is, to kickstart it, yes, probably donor money or other climate fund money from Kyoto Fund or whatever would be used to kickstart these programs. And that would really apply to farmers who are making, say, $1 or so a day. And the focus is on agriculture because, as we all know, in the developing world, that's where the focus should be. And most of us emerged rather optimistic about the potential. Insurance is a win-win game in these countries because when there is insurance, that creates a better investment environment. That brings in more capital. And in addition to that, which is interesting, it also avoids the poverty trap of farmers, because farmers who do not have any insurance are more inclined to go into low-risk, low-yield crops, whereas if they have insurance, and if that insurance, as we suggest, is affordable, then they will go into higher yield, higher, and of course more profitable crops.